This your Houston chiropractor, Dr. Gregory Johnson. We have Stellian here with us this morning. This is Stellian's second visit here at Advanced Chiropractic Relief. And a lot of you have been asking questions about posture and why I have patients close their eyes during their posture when I have them move their heads forward and backwards and back to neutral. So I'm going to explain that to you today and show you. So we're going to evaluate Stellian's posture, which, by the way, posture is a mirror of the spinal biomechanics of the spine three-dimensionally on the x-axis, the y-axis, and the z-axis. So Stellian, close your eyes for me and bend your head forward and then backwards. I see his head goes down a little bit to the right and it comes backwards in a little bit to the right. And if you look now, you can see, you can't see this from, can you get the side view for me for a second, Joseph? In the z-axis, his head is forward. That's called forward head posture. His ears dropping way out here over his clavicle. And you can see he's almost kind of falling forward even. His ears should be back here over his shoulders. So that's the first major thing that we see in a lot of people is forward head posture. The reason I have people close their eyes is because it takes their visual three-dimensional space orientation out of the equation and the spine goes to exactly where it's aligned. So in this also, I'm seeing his head is translated a little bit to the left and his head's rotated to the right. He's probably a side sleeper and turns his head this way most of the time when he sleeps.
That's right.
And down in the pelvis and lower back area, I can't see his arm there. Okay, his pelvis is a little closer over here to this left hand than it is over here to this right hand. So he's got a little room over here compared to here. So his pelvis has translated left on the x-axis as well. Now Stellian's already had his orthopedic neurological evaluation. And I did his first adjustment, 2 days ago?
Yeah, it was 2 days ago.
Yep. So I adjusted him on the BioPhysics table over there first, and then we brought him over here and decompressed his spine for the very first time. There we go. Feel like you're in there tight now?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Not going to get away?
No.
Alright. As you might notice in the video here, we got a couple of new pieces of equipment. I got a Gonstead cervical chair and a Gonstead knee chest table. And when the occasion rises where I can use those on somebody, I'll show you how to do that. Okay, nice deep breath through your nose. Exhale. You notice I line up along the z-axis and pull him straight vertical in the horizontal position here that decompresses his spine from his skull all the way down to his pelvis. Did you feel it all the way down?
All the way down, yeah.
So now I'm going to do a Palmer diversified rotary brake on him, but I'm not just twisting his neck. I'm actually doing a P to A thrust on it simultaneously, which is very similar to a Gonstead adjustment. You learned that in Palmer and all throughout postgraduate education as well. Okay, let's come over here on your tummy. Let me help you up sideways. There we go. So we're going to have him lay on his tummy here. Now the left leg is short by a 1/2 inch in this position. When I bring his legs up, it actually gets even, so that tightens up in your low back a little bit too, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yep. So we know now that he has sacroiliac subluxations and sacral subluxations along with L5-S1 subluxations. So I'm going to adjust his left SI joint first, then his right one. And now I'm adjusting the sacrum straight superior to inferior on the y-axis, pushing it away from L5, and then I'm dropping straight P to A, which is posterior to anterior in the z-axis. There's all the way up to L2, and then I'm adjusting right in here in his lower thoracic spine, mid-thoracic spine, P to A, posterior to anterior. Okay, there. A little tight in here. Alright. Ooh, you're making me work for those this morning. Okay, legs are even now. This should feel a little easier than the first one, and they stay even.
Much easier.
Is that easier?
Much easier.
Okay. So the cervical drop piece here, you'll see pops the head piece up, and then I get a knife edge contact and put my pisiform directly on the spinous at C3, dropping that straight P to A again, posterior to anterior in the Z-axis. C5 straight posterior to anterior in the Z-axis. And I'm all the way down here on T1, which will help bring his whole head and neck back up over his shoulders. Just turn you on your back now. So all these adjustments that I do that look like the same adjustments to y'all out there are very specific for that patient's biomechanical three-dimensional postural configuration. There we go. Now let's slide down this way just a little bit and put your arms straight out to the sides. Now I'm going to be adjusting his shoulders, his clavicles, sternoclavicular joints, and costosternal joints anteriorly. I've already adjusted them posteriorly. There. There we go. Yep. Now when I do these adjustments, a lot of patients report that they can breathe easier. It helps them hold their shoulders back more square. There you go. Now you should have felt that knee all the way up to your low back.
Yeah, all the way up.
Good. Same here. There you go. Feel that one too?
Yep.
Okay, let's sit you up and face that wall over there now.
All right.
There we go. Okay, so we're gonna adjust his right shoulder now. There, okay. That's not out too far. This one's up a little more. There we go. Yep. The popping noise that you hear when we make an adjustment is not the bones cracking, although I am moving the bones of structure. It's a nitrous gas bubble that explodes in the joint space when I open these joints up. Excellent. Good. Okay, now let's come back over here and stand in front of the mirror again. And we're going to check his posture post-adjustment now. Let's have you flex your head forward and backwards again for me, Stellion. Now look, better range of motion there, back to neutral. Come look at the side view now. Look how his chin's up more and his head's back more. His ears dropping right here more closely aligned to where we want it to be over his shoulders, which brings his hands back towards his sides more where they're supposed to be. You feel like you're standing up straighter now? You're not leaning forward so much, are you? Yeah, see how your head's in the center right now too?
Yep.
And look at the equal spacing we have now down here.
Yeah.
Very good. Yes, sir? So how would you describe your first two experiences here at Advanced Chiropractic Relief for our YouTube subscribers?
It's night and day. It's tremendous.
Have you been to other chiropractors before?
I did. I went to one, and you know, he did a fine job, but it wasn't such a complete
Whole body?
Yeah, it wasn't a whole body adjustment.
Okay. So you feel better with your two adjustments so far?
Yeah, I feel completely better. Yeah.
Great. Thank you for sharing your story with everyone, Stellion.
Appreciate it.
This is your Houston chiropractor, Dr. Gregory Johnson, coming to you from Advanced Chiropractic Relief in Houston, Texas. We'll see y'all soon.